From recruiting and consulting firm Riderflex, I'm your host, Steve Urban, and here is your Riderflex episode of the day. And on today's episode of the Riderflex podcast, hey, if you're a job candidate, never cancel a job interview at the last minute, ever. Okay? Unless you're in the hospital or you had a car wreck, you just don't cancel at the last minute. And there's a bunch of reasons why. I'm going to share some of those with you, and I'm also going to share a story with you. Okay? Now, keep in mind, when you've gotten a job interview scheduled, there's a lot of work that went into that, right? A lot of people have looked at your profile, studied your resume, prepared questions, blocked time out on their calendar, talked to other people about your profile, lots of minutes, okay, on you, the candidate, to prepare for the interview. And keep in mind, the person you scheduled the interview with, they made room for it on their calendar, right? They blocked out some time. So they're planning their day around different things, and your interview is one of those. So if you're a job candidate and cancel at the last minute, you just burned a bunch of payroll minutes for somebody. So don't ever cancel at the last minute, no matter what. Even if you've changed your mind about the job, visit with the employer or the recruiter so that you have a relationship with them, just in case you change your mind and you might need to go back and take that job later. Relationships are everything, right? You just never know when that might come back to benefit you. So even if you've changed your mind 5 minutes before the interview, don't cancel. Go ahead and do the interview. It could benefit you in some way. Could be a relationship that you could have, whatever. Now, here's a story for you. I have to tell you this, killer, this week. I had a fellow recruiter, cancel a video interview with me 2 minutes before the interview. Just gonna let that sink in for a minute. Yeah, we're interviewing recruiters here at Riderflex because we're looking to hire additional recruiters, and so we have a posting out and we have a bunch of resumes flowing in. Somebody pinged me on LinkedIn. They went out of their way to ping me on LinkedIn and say, hey, I want to be part of your team. I scheduled something with them. I made room on my calendar for them. Keep in mind, I'm back to back on my calendar, so there's not a lot of white space in there anyway with free time. But I made room on my calendar for them, moved some stuff around. Then I spent time studying their profile and their resume and prepared some questions. And then 2 minutes before the video interview, they canceled. No apology, no reason. They just canceled. This is a fellow senior recruiter, like a middle-aged senior professional recruiter, canceled at the last minute. Like, who does that? I don't. You got to be an awful selfish person to do that, right? I mean, anyway, the point of this story is this: if you do that, if you're a job candidate and you cancel at the last minute with a recruiter or an employer, you're gonna blacklist yourself forever. You're never gonna have a relationship with that person. And just keep in mind, forget about the relationship part, but you don't want people doing that to you, do you? Right? I mean, hey, karma, what goes around comes around. So you go around crapping on people, guess what? It's going to come back your way. So just do the right thing. Anyway, I think it's bigger than just job candidates. In general, I would just say too, to anybody listening to this podcast, you just never cancel meetings in general at the last minute. If I have a happy hour scheduled with somebody that I know made room on their calendar for me, right? They're a super busy person, and maybe the meeting's 45 minutes away, and I know they've planned all this out and they got to drive to get to a certain location. I'm not going to cancel on them 10, 15 minutes before the meeting. I'm like, are you crazy? I mean, that's a quick way to completely destroy relationships forever. Like, you just never do that. So do the right thing. Make sure you're, treating people as you want to be treated. And there is your Riderflex tip of the day. The Riderflex podcast features entrepreneurs, business executives, and the stories behind how they got there, as well as daily tips on career advice and job interviews. Our show can be heard just about anywhere these days, but you can visit riderflex.com and click on the podcast page to hear all the previous episodes and learn more about the recruiting and consulting services we provide. Contact us at the email address info@riderflex.com or 888-964-5876. Thanks so much for listening, and if you enjoy our show, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like the episodes.